Hello, I'm Bob Weir with another interview of people in the news in Texas. My guest today is Colonel Allen West, who is running for the position of Texas Republican Chairman in the 2020 GOP convention in Houston next year. Thank you for being here, Colonel.
My pleasure, Bob.
If you would, please begin by telling our viewers something about your background, your career.
Sure. I am originally from Atlanta, Georgia, born in the same neighborhood Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. grew up in. Went to the University of Tennessee, earned my commission there. My father, who was a corporal in World War II, challenged me to be the first officer in the family. I spent 22 years in the Army, deployed to several combat zones, Desert Shield, Desert Storm, the Persian Gulf, and then also Iraqi Freedom. And even after I retired, I did 2.5 years in Afghanistan as a civilian military advisor. Came here to Dallas, Texas area 5 years ago, working with the Public Policy Center. And my last duty assignment in the Army was in Fort Hood, Texas. I've been married 30 years. I have 2 daughters. The oldest, 26, board certified PA, and she's back here in Dallas. And the youngest is at her flight attendant training. She just found out last night she's going to be based out of Dallas.
How fabulous, how wonderful is that? That's
Yeah.
marvelous. All right, let's find out, what are the duties of the Texas Republican Chairman?
Well, I think the duties of the Texas Republican Chairman is to be a leader that unifies this party. I think you have to put forth what I call the basic constitutional conservative principles and values. You have to recruit, you have to train, you have to raise the resources, you have to, I believe, get out there and equip those candidates to run from all levels of political offices, elected office, being city council all the way up to, I think, the governor, and then of course to the President of the United States of America. And I believe that that is where we have to really focus on, especially at the local level. When you see how many people are moving in here to Texas, and we're losing a lot of our major urban centers, the city councils, the school boards, and some of these county commission races.
How long is the term?
It's 2 years, yeah,
2 years.
every 2 years when you have state convention.
And how did you get elected as chair?
Well, one of the key things is that you have to get out there, and it's about the delegates, and it's also about the members of the state, the Republican Executive Committee. That's about 62, based upon the state senate districts that you have. There are 2 per by bylaws. There's 1 male and 1 female. But each one of those senate districts, state senate districts, has X amount of delegates it can have based upon the population. But the cap amount is 9,000 folks that can be down there as delegates to vote in the convention next May in Houston.
9,000, wow. In your opinion, what is the greatest challenge to the Texas GOP next year?
Well, I think the greatest challenge, not just next year, but right now, is what we call in the military the circular firing squad. We spend more time shooting at ourselves than really focusing on, the fact that Texas is at the top of the target list for the progressive socialist left. You can read many articles, and as a matter of fact, they're calling it Texodus. The fact that we have 4 of these congressional representatives that are stepping down, retiring. So I think the biggest challenge is for us to unify on a core message and be able to, stand up strongly against the progressive socialist left intrusion into the state of Texas. And we've seen this creeping coming out of California. It's overrun Nevada, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, and now it's knocking on our door.
So, as a leader of the Republican Party in the state, how do you increase the chances for election next year? What do you do as a leader for the people who are already in office, running for re-election, for new people coming in? How do you help them?
Well, I think that I have to be everywhere, and I have to get out there and rally Republicans. And I think that also our message can touch a lot of the independents, non-party affiliate. And there are some conservative Democrats out there as well that are probably looking for that true north as far as the fundamental values and principles that have made Texas this incredible place of growth, opportunity, and prosperity. Look, Texas is the 10th or 11th largest economy in the world. So why would we want to hear people talking about the principles that would make Texas look more like Venezuela than it is Texas? And so that's very important. And another thing, Bob, that I tell folks, because right now the left is all on this racism and white nationalism, white supremacy kick. The Texas Republican Party, the Republican Party of Texas, was founded on July the 4th of 1867 by 150 blacks. Now that's an incredible story that should be out there that most people, when you tell them, they didn't even know that. So here we have people that are Republicans in Texas that did not even know who founded their own party.
Well, that's interesting because I didn't know either.
See?
Breaking
news for Bob.
Breaking news. You know what? I'm gonna research that. I think that would make an excellent column.
And I don't lie.
I know that. So let me go on to something that's a hot topic right now. Recently, Republican Speaker Dennis Bonnen was caught on tape providing a list of Republicans to be targeted for defeat next year. Allegedly, he gave the list to caucus chair Burrows, who has since resigned his position. Should Bonnen resign too?
Absolutely. Not should he only resign, he should probably withdraw himself from his elected position as a state house representative. You know, in the military, three things are very important. It's your honor, it's your integrity, and it's your moral character. And I don't see that in Speaker Bonnen. I have had several people that are state house representatives that have heard this tape, that have contacted me and told me the details of it. I've also had some SREC members that have heard this tape and contacted me and talked to me about the details. And so I make this statement as an informed decision. And this is not the type of person that's going to help us move Texas forward. One of the main things that the Democrat Party wants to do is to flip the Texas State House, because it's redistricting that comes up in 2021 and takes effect in 2022. There is no doubt, with all the population growth that we've seen here, Texas may get 2 to 3 more congressional representation seats. And if we lose the Texas State House to the Democrats, which, as you saw in the last election, November 2018, we lost 12 state house seats. I mean, they're closing that margin. Eric Holder, Texas is one of the state houses that he wants to flip. He's in charge of the National Democratic Redistricting Committee. We don't need to be concerned about an individual. We need to be concerned about Texas. And if Dennis Bonnen is concerned about Texas, he'll step down and he'll move away.
Exactly, and it's important to note that Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick yesterday called for him, called for the tape to be released anyway.
And that tape is going to be very damaging.
And that's what I think is a real problem here, that they're not releasing the tape. Certain people are allowed to hear the tape, and at one point they said you go down to Austin if you want to get an appointment to hear the tape, and I'm saying, well, why shouldn't everybody hear the tape? I mean, why does the whole state have to go to Austin to hear it? No. So,
and as well, you know, the Texas Rangers.
Texas Rangers
have opened an
investigating
investigation. So yeah, this is a very big deal.
And it really won't go away.
It's not.
And this is going to be a bludgeon used by the Democrats next year.
And that's why we need to resolve it earlier than later.
Exactly, yeah, and it really should have been resolved already. It's amazing to me, I just editorialize a little bit here, it's amazing to me that it's taken this long, you know, under the circumstances with Burrows taking the rap for this, and Bonnen is allowing him to take the rap. I mean, it's just adding more to it.
That's not leadership.
No, absolutely, that's my opinion too. All right, well, let me just say that, let me see, do you have a campaign website?
Yes, we do. West4Texas.com. That's WEST, the number 4, then Texas.com.
Okay, and that information will be on the written portion as well. Just mention that the chairman will be elected in May of 2020. What kind of campaigning will you be doing, do you know?
Get out all over the place and speak to a lot of groups. As a matter of fact, we announced last week, Thursday, I was down in San Antonio for a town hall next day.
Absolutely, that's great. All right, the salary of the Texas Republican chair is now $150,000. It was just decided, I think it was a year ago, that there's a salary coming with it now at $150,000. Is there anything you'd like to add about your campaign?
No, I think it's important that we realize that if we're going to save the United States of America, we got to save Texas.
Right. I agree. If Texas goes, it looks like everything's going to go.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you, Colonel West,
pleasure,
for coming over here for this interview, and great thanks for your service to the country.
And yours too, as an NYPD police officer.
Thank you.
And thank you for having me in your home.
And great luck in the campaign.
Thank you, Bob.
Take care. And thank you for watching.